Look, I had some people that I was messaging with yesterday. In those conversations, a couple times people were saying like, I could never do that, or I'm afraid to do that, or I did this thing and I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna kind of see what happens. That's great. You're gonna try it. You're gonna see what happens versus never. Someone says, I could never do that. I can't do that. You're literally, with that verbiage, your brain is going, okay, not gonna happen. Then I won't think about it anymore. Unless you like really, really want it and you're afraid, which brings me to my next point. So when you sit there and you have that language, like, I can't do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm never gonna do this, I could never do this. Not only are you telling your brain not to, but yes, this is out of fear. You're afraid. You're like, I don't know if I can. What if I look silly? What if I mean, it's not that you're showing up for other people. You have to show up for yourself first. So when someone else says, I am going to try, I don't like it, I'm kind of afraid of it, I don't know if it's going to work out, I'm afraid it's not going to work out, I'm afraid I'm going to look silly, or I'm going to make a fool of myself, but they're going to try anyway, like, good on you, because you have the growth mindset instead of the person who's held back in a more fixed mindset of like, I'm afraid it's not going to happen, it's not going to work out, and so I'm just not going to try. So when you make that next step and you do something like, I'm going to try, no one may be there, no one may show up, no one may see it, but I'm going to try, that's amazing. It is really hard to step out of comfort zone. And I was actually in this conversation with somebody who was trying yesterday, was trying to show up in a way that they want to. And they're just like, I'm so afraid of doing this. I don't like this about myself. I don't like that about myself. And I'm afraid of stepping out like this, afraid of all these different things. The big thing that's amazing is that you pushed into that fear. You pushed into that and you did it anyway. And it's funny because like, one of the things that I think I've said this like 4 or 5 times over the last couple of weeks is when I first started doing it, to just kind of make myself do it, to just kind of try, to just kind of show up. And I'm not perfect about it by any means. When I first started doing it, it was like, I'm going to just do it. I'm going to just try. And I was doing it because I was showing up for myself. And you know what? No, hardly anyone was there. Hardly anyone saw it. But you know what matters is that, one, I showed up. And then I started going into it with this mentality of like, no one may see it anyway, so it probably doesn't matter how I show up as long as I show up for myself. So I just kept showing up for myself with this drive to just do this thing and show up in a particular way. And, you know, it's not like a crazy amount of people see my stories, but it's just, at least I'm doing what I said I was going to do. And now I have this habit and this comfort of doing it. And if people see it, great. And if they don't, that's okay. I still showed up for myself. I still showed up for the things I want to do and the kind of human I want to be. So all of this to wrap up and say that if you are somebody who is not showing up for yourself, find out how you need to do that and take some baby steps to do that. If you have put yourself out there this week, if you've done anything that has pushed you through your fear and you've done stuff anyway, please be proud of yourself, because it is so difficult sometimes to recognize the things that we're doing, the things that have been done, and give ourselves credit for those little things. So please give yourself credit for the little things. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a good day. Cheers.